Good morning. I trust you're well, and it's so lovely to be able to talk to you and encourage you this morning. When I was growing up together with my two sisters, we had the wonderful privilege of having my grandfather live with us for some of the years of his life, towards the end of his life. And he was a really wonderful man. He was a local GP, and he used to just have a wonderful generosity of spirit that he always showed to us as a family and as the girls in the family. But one of the things I always remember him saying was, in his deep voice, he would say, whenever we were fighting or arguing or not sharing with each other, he would say, "Be ye kind to one another." I can still remember the way he said it. And sometimes I find myself saying that to my own children when the time is needed. But that is often how our Father in heaven might need to speak to us when he says, and he looks at how we are responding to one another. He might also want to whisper by his Spirit into our hearts, "Be kind to one another." And this morning I was reading from Job chapter 4, where Eliezer, one of Job's friends, comes to bring him some comfort. Now, we know that Job's comforters were not always very comforting, and sometimes they spoke kind words, but then they followed them with words of judgment and condemnation. And there was a part where Eliezer says in Job 4, verse 1 to 4, he says to Job, "Surely you have instructed many, and you have strengthened weak hands. Your words have upheld him who was stumbling. You have strengthened the feeble knees. But now it comes upon you, and you are weary. It touches you, and you are troubled." And here we have Eliezer speaking, I think, some wisdom and insight into Job's life. He knows that Job has always been a man who has had wisdom in his life, and many have sought out his counsel, and he's given courage to people who are feeling weak at the knees or just needing a hand to lift them up and to encourage them. And Job was that kind of person. And then he says, "But now, Job, you yourself are in that place where you are needing a kind word. The one who's been the kind word to others is now in need of receiving that for themselves." And I think that is also so true, is that sometimes we can also not only give kind words, but we also need to learn how to receive that which God is saying to us, and to allow ourselves to be encouraged as well. But then Eliezer seems to take the conversation into a different tack, and as we read on, he says, "Well, Job, what you have to really confront is that the only reason that you are struggling is because there must be some kind of deep sin in your life." Now, maybe sometimes that might be true, that we go through struggles because there's areas of our lives where we've just gone our own way and not followed God's wisdom. But sometimes things happen upon us that we didn't choose. The things that are difficult, relationship difficulties, circumstances, we just find ourselves in the place where we are wearied, where we are at the end of ourselves. And it's in that time that I think more than ever we need a kind word. And even when we have done something wrong, kindness is the word that will bring us to a place of finding forgiveness for ourselves and for others. And so I really want to leave us with this thought today, whether we are to be those that give kind words or to learn to receive them, whether we feel they are worthy of being given or not, that is not for us to decide. Kindness is the most wonderful quality and the nature of God himself. David says in the Psalms, "Your loving kindness is better than life itself." So I thought this week it would be lovely to be able to be inspired by Job and to be inspired by David's words, and to think about all our interactions and maybe wonder, how can we be those that speak kindness, that strengthen feeble knees, and lift up those that are struggling through kind words. So I hope you have a wonderful week, and I pray that we will all be kind to one another.